All right, good evening and welcome. Bonsoir tout le monde et bienvenue. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu, opening the Halloween edition of the Amateur Radio Age Group, also known as AREG, for Wednesday, October 30th, 2024. My name is Chuck, and my station is located in East Hamilton, Ontario. This net is on every Wednesday night, starting at 8 p.m. and ending around 10 p.m. local time here on 146.430. And since this is a Simplex Net, not everyone will be able to hear everyone else. So I also stream the net on YouTube. So people who tune in can hear uh, uh, people who tune in can hear stations that they cannot hear on their radio and hear how their audio sounds on the air, as well as see their signal strength and see my station layout. Just type my call into the YouTube search. Again, VA3CJZ, and you can look for us live, or tonight will be under the title AREG Week 1624. Finally, we ask that you please leave a 1 second delay at least to let others break in. May I now have check-ins for this evening's net?
Victor Alpha 3 Alpha X-ray Juliet.
Victor Echo 3 Kilo Mike Quebec.
Okay, I've got three there. VA3AXJ, KMQ, and IMW. Let's bring in Rick. Come on in, Rick.
Yep, good evening there, Chuck. There must be for us in a real bad week.
Uh-oh.
I mean, terrible week. My son's wife passed away Monday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're dealing with that right now. I had to put my brother in the hospital today at 1 o'clock. He kind of, it's just one after another.
Well, my dear friend, I'm sorry to hear that you've got a dark cloud hanging over you there. That's rough. I'm sorry that you're going through this. Personally, today is the anniversary of when my mom passed away, so it's also a bit of a somber week for me as well. But I'm really sorry to hear that. Condolences to you and her family. Back to you.
Yeah, well, she went in to the hospital on Saturday, and they're going to do a back operation, take a couple discs out. So they got it on in the OR Monday. And, they actually got it into the OR, and they got a blood clot in the leg, went up into the heart, and she died there. They got her back, and then they put her back into her room, and then 20 minutes after that, she had another one, and that was the end of it. They couldn't bring her back.
Yeah, very difficult thing to go through. And I'm sorry you're having to go through that, Rick. But hopefully the next couple of hours can lighten your load and take your mind off things. And so I hope you stick around.
I'll be here for the duration, probably. If they don't pass out, I'll be here, though.
All right, Rick, very good. Okay, so I've got you in the log, and if you feel like breaking in, please, by all means, do. Next, let's bring in Victor Echo 3 Kilo Mike Quebec, a call sign I heard a lot over the weekend on the same frequency I was on. Come on in, Mike.
Yeah, good evening, Chuck. And first of all, just want to pass along a message to Rick. Rick, it's Mike here, VE3KMQ. I don't know you, but nonetheless, I wanted to offer my condolences to you. Not a good time. These things happen. And I guess we all eventually, things come back to where they should be. But anyway, just thought I'd offer that to you. Chuck had a lot of fun on the contest. I was glued to the radio, I think, from Friday evening right through to Sunday night, but I had to take some sanity breaks. I'm telling you, you really get tired. Your rear end and your shoulders and everything else start aching. You just got to break away from it and do something different. But had a lot of fun, racked up a lot of contacts, bettered my scoring from last year, I guess it was, and so that's always a good thing. But yeah, the conditions were just fantastic, really good propagation. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Anyway, with that, back to you, Chuck. VA3CJZ, VE3KMQ.
Oh, outstanding there, Mike. I know I did the same. This is the first time I've spent pretty much the entire 48 hours, other than sleeping for about 7 or 8 hours and grabbing a bite to eat here and there. I had to take breaks also. And I don't know how those guys do it. When you stay on one frequency and do call outs without alternating, it's got to be tough. I know I was losing my voice at one point. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I don't think I want to do call outs, because then you've got to do double the work vocally. So, but I too did outstandingly well. Just over 400 QSOs, but I only got 3 new countries out of all that. So, but it was a ton of fun. My radio was working at peak performance, and the antenna seemed to be doing quite well as the atmospheric conditions there. So very good, Mike. Thanks for joining us and sharing that with us. Anything else, sir?
Well, no, the only other thing I've been doing the last couple days is I've come across a very old ham stick that I have bought probably 30-some years ago, and it's been up in the rafters, so I thought I'd pull it out and see what it could do for me in a very quick, let's call it a portable mobile situation. It's not really mobile, but I thought if I could get it up on the roof of the truck, maybe it would give me a very quick and dirty way of getting onto 20 meters, as opposed to dragging my Pac-12 antenna out with the radials and everything, which I like doing. But I thought this would be an alternative for example, in the winter. But in doing some tests, at least with the analyzer, I don't think I've got a very decent ground plane. And just had super high SWR and so on and so forth. Did a lot of tests, even pulled it off and just checked the antenna itself out in the field, actually. Set it up with the mag mount, if you can believe that, just sitting it on a piece of wood with some radials, mind you, to serve as the ground plane. And the antenna works great, but I think when it goes back onto a vehicle, there's something not right with the grounding. So I got to figure that out, and I guess once I do, I'll be better off. But anyway, that's what I'm playing with right at the moment. That's about it for me, Chuck. Swing it back to you, and I'll pass along 73, and we'll look for you next time. VA3 CJZ VE3 KMQ.
Okay, Mike. Well, good luck with that. I know a lot of the POTA guys I've been hearing chatting about experimenting with their Pac-12 antennas and adding longer radials and whatnot, changing the configurations with the sticks. And so it's great. You get to play around and find out what works best with what, where, and how. And so, so I wish you good luck. And thanks for checking in. Don't forget to change the clocks on this weekend. It's fall back, spring. Yeah, we go back an hour, isn't it?
Yeah, fall back, spring forward, as they always say.
That's it. I was trying to remember if I was getting it backwards or not. Okay, very good, Mike. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a great rest of the evening, and happy Halloween, sir. Let's move down to Mac, VA3IMW. Mac, come on in.
And that's up to Mac. Anyways, geographically speaking, good evening, Chucky. I can just picture you as a little doll. Don't take that the wrong way. Good evening, Mike. Good to hear you as well. And Rick, our hearts and prayers are with you in your family's time of need. All the best wishes for you. Try to find some peace and solace in the little things in life. So sincerest condolences going out to you and all the extended family. Other than that, not really any great news to share. Let's see, Chris did put in a fairly good plug for the net tonight, so nice to hear the Burlington guys are still mentioning you on the air. And let's see what else is going on. Long term, December 21st, getting together at Stony Creek Battlefield Park for another meet and greet. Trusting Mother Nature smiles on us. As far as this past weekend goes, bands were packed and everything was busy. Really glad that you did as well as you did with the contest there, Chuck. And you know how the contesters do it? They push a button. That's how to save your voice. You got to pre-record your call, push the button, and that's your CQ. And then save your own voice for the actual QSO. Let's see. Other than that, I'm here for the duration. Looking forward to the trivia and on this day. And other than that, certainly appreciate your dedication to holding this event every week. Back to you, Chuck. I'll let you go ahead and fill the log.
All right, very good, Mac. Thank you for that. Well, I guess Kevin KKP is usually the one that lets me know if I make it on if I get a good score on these contests. So he's usually more on top of it than I am, so he lets me know. But okay, Mac, thank you very much. And yes, this is the Halloween edition of the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. I'd like to say hello to everyone joining us on YouTube. Hello, Deb, VA3OYL. Her deck is finished and the coax is going in this weekend. Can't wait to hear you on the air, Deb. Wayne B from Mississauga, I believe, VA3FMB. Good evening, Wayne. And then we have Wade, VA3NCA. And then we have Jeff, VE3NVY. Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the AREG Net. And so thank you for checking in and joining us. With that, let's see if there are any check-ins on the radio for this week's Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is VA3 CJZ. Please come now.
VA3NCA. Go ahead.
Victor Echo 3, Zulu Juliet Charlie.
Okay, I heard Wade, NCA, and then someone very faintly with Juliet Charlie, and then I heard VE3 Zulu Juliet Charlie. Is there anyone else? Okay, did anyone hear anyone in the distance?
Nothing heard.
Okay, I hear something breaking my squelch very far off in the distance, but for now, let's go with VA3NCA. Wade, come on in. Happy Halloween.
VA3CJZ, VA3NCA. Happy Halloween, Chuck. The Halloween edition is well underway. I wanted to make an RF check in. I am listening around on YouTube as well. Today was a decent day. I took a day off work. I have a good problem to have, and that is that I have a few vacation days that I'm not allowed to carry forward, so I have to take them. So I ended up doing that, and ended up going to meet somebody on one of the exam teams I'm on, and he was up from Buffalo, and so we met in Niagara Falls. Unfortunately, the schedule didn't work out to POTA with him, but I did make sure that after we finished our visit that I hit some POTA parks on the way home. So I got 50 contacts and a nice long conversation with a curious police officer who was just curious, not not worried about what I was doing. So that was good. A little bit of ambassador-ness. But I ended up with 50 contacts at battlefield of Lundy's Lane in Niagara Falls, and then on the way home I went to Wood End Conservation Area, and again a couple of dog walkers and a couple of hikers stopped by to chat and find out what I was doing. I got 100 contacts there, so propagation was decent today, I think.
Wow.
Anyways, a lot of fun. It was a good change from going into the office. So. Looking forward to the next time. I'm about to upload the log, so we'll get this one wrapped up. Anyways, with that, I will send it back to you, and I will absolutely be listening along for the rest of the net. VA3NCA, back to you.
All right, Wade, very good then. Yeah, a lot of companies started doing that a while ago, and now I think pretty much everyone does it, and that is they won't let you bank days or hours, sometimes hours, but not days. If you got vacation time, they don't like you banking them into the next year. You have to take them before their calendar is up for the year. So I'm glad you had some fun and good conditions, and glad everything worked out. So pretty. What was that? It was today, was it?
Yeah, QSL. It was today. I headed out early so that I could meet up with Nick from the the HRCC YouTube channel. I'm on their VE team, so he's one of the session managers, and he's only the second member of that testing team that I've actually met in person, and the first one is Vince Dion, who some people here might know because he used to live in the area. He lives in Alberta now, but he did come back for a short time, and we went out for an activation at Canal Park. So that was fun. He was officially the first person on that team I met in real life. Nick's the second now. But unfortunately, we never got out to do a two-up one, but I wasn't going to go all the way down there and not take advantage of a couple of new parks for me. So on the way home, I took the long way home and stopped at a couple of parks. That was today. I guess, they used to have a real problem at work with people who'd retire with like months and months of time. And so they'd want it paid out, and that made it very difficult for their staffing budget to do that. So then they changed it to you had to take the time, which meant people would, send out the note to say, I'm retiring on this date, but because of all the vacation days, I'm not coming in tomorrow. And that was hard to manage workloads. So now they've kind of cut back to you can carry forward 5 at the most. So you can still carry forward some. I have 7 on the books I got to take care of. So I got 1 more I can take before I got to get serious. So anyways, it's a good problem to have, I suppose. It would be better if I was retired, though, quite frankly. Then I wouldn't have to worry about it either. But that's not for a number of years away from me. So there you go. Anyways, with that, I will send it back to you. I had a good day out in the parks, and it was nice weather to be at Niagara Falls. So good day basically. Anyways, I will send it back to you, and I think I heard some people in behind me, so we'll let it go down the line. VA3NCA, back to you there, Chuck.
Okay, very good, Wade. Good signal. 10 over S9 over here at the Center Mall, East Hamilton. So Always nice to have a day off on a hump day. It breaks up the week nicely. All right, I'll let you get back to the YouTube stream there, Wade. Thanks for checking in. Let's pick up Jason next. VE3 Zulu Juliet Charlie.
Good evening, Chuck, and everybody else on frequency. Nothing special over here today. Didn't try to listen for Wade there when I got the hand alerts in the park. I could hear people calling him, but no copy direct back at the house here. And as far as that station in the distance, if I did get it correct, and I think I did, it was Victor Alpha 3, Victor Juliet Charlie, Richard, and I guess that I got it right because he said something about Cabbage Patch, and when I look him up on QRZ, there's a note about Cabbage Patch Boulevard North. So that's about all I got for you, Chuck. I do appreciate you doing it, and I will send it back to you.
All right. I thought I heard something. You're very weak tonight. That's Richard, North End Richard. Good evening, Richard. Thanks for checking in and joining us. I hope all is well. And that's VA3 Victor Juliet Charlie. So we'll say hi to him. And thank you, Jason, for that relay. I was just getting him in with my noise level, and so I knew there was someone there. The Juliet Charlie. I should have put it together. And it's funny because your call sign ended with Zulu Juliet Charlie, so it had me thinking there. So, anything new and exciting with you? How was your weekend?
No, nothing new and exciting here, and my weekend was pretty boring, to be honest with you. And yeah, there's a whole lot of Juliet Charlies. It's interesting. Yeah, honestly, Chuck, there was. I did a little bit of hunting on POTA on the weekend, and muddled my way through finding stations that I could get to, on top of everybody piling on top of everybody else. That was probably the biggest disregard of a gentleman's agreement for ham radio band stuff that I've witnessed. And yeah, I think on those worldwide DX events, unless I've got 1,000 watts and a bunch of beams above my future QTH, I'm probably going to go do something else, like enjoy time with the missus.
All right. Yeah, we, the wife and I, my wife works afternoons, so when she comes home, we usually sit down together and watch something on one of the streaming services that we have, either a movie or an interesting series that comes up. But yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right, Jason, fantastic signal as always, great audio, and thanks for checking in. Anything else?
No, sir. But I do understand the watching stuff with the missus. Mine's downstairs patiently waiting for me, so I'm going to be this one and done this evening, sir. But I do appreciate it. VE3's JC, back to net.
Well, I hope she doesn't have a rolling pin in her hand. Okay, Jason, I'll let you go. And thank you again. One and done, Jason. Okay, and let me see who else is out there that would like to check in with us here on the weekly Halloween edition of the Amateur Radio Exchange. Please come now.
Victor Alpha 3, Bravo Tango.
Yeah, I think Richard, North End Richard, is trying to break in there. Is there someone that can relay, can hear him well, or no? And Albert, I heard you. Yeah, I hear the frog beep there, but that's about it. Anyways, let's bring in VA3, Bravo Tango.
Hey, good evening, Chuck. Yeah, somebody's trying to check in there with RF, he was saying. Do you want me to see if I can pick him up?
Yeah, sure thing.
That person that's calling out, what's the call sign there? All right, over and under. Yeah, I got you here at 5S units. This is Victor Alpha 3 Bravo Tango, Albert here. I got him here at 5, Chuck. He just wanted to put a check-in in there. I don't know if you can hear him or not.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I can't hear you tonight, Richard. Either the conditions aren't good or you're not in a good location. But just coming in with my noise, so I can't make out most of what you're saying. But thank you so much for checking in, Richard. I hope you're doing okay.
Well, he said he's doing okay. He's hoping to get better antenna, I guess. But other than that, he's doing good.
All right, that last transmission I heard about 40%. I could make out. So thank you for the relay, Albert, and thank you for checking in, Richard. Hopefully conditions will improve for you, or maybe somebody's got an antenna out there for you. Hopefully you still have the same email address on QRZ if we want to get a hold of you.
He's saying something about his Yaesu there. He's got to get it worked on. There's something going on with his Yaesu radio. But he's hoping to get on the air here.
All right. Well, so are we. We're patiently waiting for you to get out and on the air. So thanks again, Richard. Take care, my friend. And if I find someone that has an antenna for you, I'll email you.
He says thanks and Roger Dodger and all that good stuff. Anyways, that's it for him there, Chuck.
Okay, that's the only part of that transmission that I did hear was Roger Dodger. So very good, Richard. Thanks again. And Albert, nothing new and exciting other than the fire truck number 8?
No, nothing new and exciting. Enjoying the fax machine mode here. Hey, it's still a mode, man. I don't care what anyone says. You guys can make fun, do whatever. I don't care. But anyways, it is what it is. Other than that, no, not much to put out there. Just been busy. We're starting to pick up a little bit at work, but just keeping out of trouble. Same old, same old. And yes, the weekend it just passed was crazy with the contesting and all that stuff. So I avoided that like the plague. Anyways, we'll hand it back over to you there, Chuck. VA3BT.
All right, Albert. Well, I was just sitting here this morning, and I thought, you know what? Let me look up Albert on QRZ, and the call sign that I put in brought back some numbers that made my jaw drop to the floor. So, anyways, congrats. I'm quite shocked and happy for you. Okay, Albert. Thanks for checking in. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. I'll be listening along. But yeah, there's a lot of voice in there too. Don't kid yourself. But probably more so digital. But anyways, Yeah, just racking them in.
Absolutely. Well, congrats. All right, so we'll clear with VA3 Bravo Tango, and let's see who else is out there would like to join us here on the Halloween edition of the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is VA3 CJZ.
Victor Alpha 3, November Foxtrot Golf.
Okay, I heard Steve of VA3 November Foxtrot Golf, and I know there was somebody underneath him, but Steve is basically right on the edge of the escarpment, and I could not make it out. So who's the other station?
V3RWJ.
Oh, still a nice sounding station there, Chris. Okay, VE3RWJ. Let's bring in Steve, Victor Alpha 3, November Foxtrot Golf. I bet you're in the driveway, right?
Yeah, roger that, Chuck. Good evening there, buddy, and all on net there. No traffic here. I don't think I'll be sticking around for too long. Got an early morning tomorrow, and that's pretty much it. I heard you did there pretty good. You got 401 contacts there on the weekend there. Congratulations on that one. You must have been quite busy there Saturday and Sunday. Unfortunately, I was working, but I am off this weekend, so we're looking forward to some kind of conditions. So send it back to you, Chuck. See who else there is you want to pick up.
Okay, Steve. Yeah, great signal. You're full strength here and nice audio. And thanks. Yeah. Funny thing is, though, my number 400, that was my goal. I wanted to reach 400. And then it turns out I got a Canadian station. I think it was in Quebec. But I did not want to end on a Canadian stations, and I wasn't sure if that one had points. So I got one, and it was hard because a lot of them were duplicates, right? I'd tune in, turn the dial, and nope, already got him. Nope, already got him. So I was lucky enough to get, I think, Portugal for my 401st contact there. So, yeah, a lot of fun. Anyhow, Steve, yeah, okay. So I guess you're going to be one and done also. I got to get up early for work and got to splash that cereal around on the handy talkie there. I know. Thanks for checking in, Steve. Anything else?
No, that's it. But you pretty much nailed it there, Chuck. Yeah, we will have in that nightly bowl of cereal for sure. And well, I'm glad you made your last contact somewhere other than Canada. Portugal, you got? Did you say?
Yeah, it was either Brazil or Portugal. I can't remember now.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I'll often go to DX Cluster Fun or DX Fun Cluster. I forget the name of the website, but that ticker is usually moving pretty good, and there's usually a lot of good DX there in the list there. So, but anyway, all right, yep, very good there. We'll be probably taking it to the portal very shortly, and then we'll be listening pretty much as long as we can, and we'll be pulling the plug about an hour from now. So we'll say 73 to everybody, and we'll talk at you next time. This is Victor Alpha 3, November Foxtrot Golf, Central Mountain, Hamilton.
All right, Steve. Okay, my friend, take care. Have a great rest of the evening, and we'll talk to you on the radio here at some point, probably near the end of the week or tomorrow even. You never know. Thanks again, Steve. Have a good one. Let's move down to Victor Echo 3, Romeo Whiskey Juliet. Chris in Ancaster. Come on in.
Hello, Chuck. Thanks for doing this net, and thanks, of course, for checking into the Burlington net. I don't really have any traffic other than I'm going to get back to the baseball game. The Yankees are ahead, unfortunately. As a Blue Jays fan, of course, I cannot support the Yankees, so I hope the Dodgers come back and win the whole thing tonight. Not much else to report. I had fun on the weekend, too. I've never seen 10 meters that busy. I wasn't really in the contest, but I did pick up a few countries. And this week, I've been hearing like South Africa, Korea, all kinds of faraway places on 10 meters, especially in the evenings. So that's been a lot of fun. Back to you, and I'm just going to listen. B3RWJ.
Okay, Chris, very good. Yeah. You're full strength, by the way, and great audio. So I just thought I'd let you know. And I'm sure you can listen to yourself on the YouTube stream. And thank you for checking in, Steve. And we won't call on you again, but if you do need to break in, please, by all means. At any time, any one of you can break in if you have a comment or question or any traffic for that matter. So we'll clear with VE3RWJ. And let me go back to Mac for a second. VA3IMW. You there, Mac?
Where else would I be on a beautiful Wednesday evening? Go ahead, Chuck.
Well, I thought you took a trip to the white box there in the kitchen. But anyways, I did find those countries because I only, like I said, I only got 3 new countries during the contest with all 400 plus their contacts. So the new country I got, I've never ever heard of, and it's called Desecheo Island. If you got a pen, it's DESECHEO. DESECHEO Island. Desecheo Island. I have no idea where that is. And then, of course, I got Malta as another one, and Crete. So that brings my total to 127 entities and or countries.
Well, Desecheo Island certainly deserves a Google lookup. I'll get busy with that. But congrats on the little contacted Malta and Crete. They are somewhat isolated, both of them. So that's another feather in your cap there. Good job.
All right, thanks, Mac. And I was also telling my wife there last night. There's a little island. I told you the other night there, right off the province of Nova Scotia, that belongs to France. And the guy was saying that he was the only one on the island with a radio. So when he gives his call out, you can imagine the pileups.
Oh yeah, that's like being out at a 4 park that's all brand new parks, right? You're going to have a swarm. Desecheo Island is part of Puerto Rico, and let's see, it's just to the west of the Puerto Rican islands. So the main island is where San Juan is, and Desecheo is just off the coast, west of Rincon.
Oh, okay. Very good. I'm surprised I didn't even get a chance to look at it. So thank you for looking that up for me, Mac. I will definitely probably pull it up on the map. I love looking at Google Maps and Google Earth. There, it's you can just entertain. You can pass time away just by looking around the world on that thing.
Yeah, and you can stalk your old girlfriends and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Follow the APRS you threw on her car. Okay, Mac, thank you for that. And I think that's it for my list. Let's see who else is out there would like to join us before we start some very interesting trivia in a little bit. There are no contests except for a CW one this weekend. I'm not even going to bring it up. I think people want a break. I actually haven't even tried DX since the weekend. I need a break, and so does my voice. So, yeah, no contest really this weekend for sideband. And so with that, let's see who else is out there would like to join us here on the Halloween edition of the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. My call is VA3CJZ, and my name is Chuck here in the East End of Hamilton. Please come now.
Hello, Victor Echo 3, Charlie Echo Uniform.
All right, Victor Echo Treat and Trick or Treat, VE3CEU. Tomasz, hey, come on in.
VA3CJ says VE3CU. Good evening, all. Good evening, Chuck. Yeah, just turned the radio on here. And yeah, it's been a very good day today. Very nice warm day. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, just sitting back and relaxing now and be listening along for a bit.
All right, very good. Well, thanks for joining us, Tom. Actually, yeah, it's still warm out. I reached around 25 today over here, and it's 20 right now outside the CJZ studio. A gorgeous evening. I think they're only calling for a low of 15. My wife last night was saying that's perfect camping weather. And I'm like, yeah, well, go right ahead. I'll leave the back door open for you.
Yeah, I think when I retire next year, I think I'm going to get the wife and say, you know what, start doing some camping there,
yeah.
And enjoy the great outdoors. Yeah, I'm getting you full scale there tonight there, Chuck, and there's a lot of noise in there. I don't know if you're hearing any background noise or not, but it's the band's quite noisy.
Yes, I kind of figured that as much. I wasn't able to pick up someone that's downtown here on the handy talkie, and normally I can. So you're coming in flickering an S8 tonight, and you also have some white noise in there with you, but fully readable nonetheless. All right, Tomasz, I'll let you go for now, and you can listen along to the rest of the net. Anything else?
Nothing else at this time. I'll let you carry on.
All right, very good then. Thanks again, Tom. Anyone else out there wishing to join us here on the Halloween edition of the Amateur Radio Exchange Group? Please come now. I would. I'm going to need a relay for that, please. Someone? Anyone? Yeah, I'm sorry. That station, I cannot make out one word. I'm sorry. Is that you, Richard? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of noise coming in with you there. I can't even Tom out in Burlington there is noticing it.
That's Vern, CRF.
Oh, Vern. Oh, okay. Yeah, quite noisy tonight, Vern. I can't make you out. So we have another relay in there for me, Mac, VA3IMW. Please say hi to Vern for me and see what he has to say.
Okay, Roger. Vern, stand up on that bench and hold your left leg up in the air and your right arm extend to the east. Good evening, and you're out for a walk, Roger. Yeah, Chuck will, but you found a good spot. You're not quite an S9, but fully copyable from there. Vern's one and done tonight, Chuck. Any news for him before we let him go?
Yeah, I think I heard about 40% of that I could make out, and that transmission was much better than the other one before. And so thank you, Vern, for checking in. And I got you in the log. And yes, it's gorgeous out. It's 20.2 over here, and I think I heard you say 21 at your place there. So very good. Thanks again, Vern. Happy Halloween, and be safe out there trick-or-treating tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Vern. And he's thanking you, and he's on his way. I guess he's saving his beat up the kids for their candy till tomorrow night. 7-3's Vern, and we'll turn it back to net control.
All right, very good. And thank you again, Mac, for the relay. And of course, being a Simplex Net, not everyone can hear everyone else. And so a relay is very helpful. Thank you, Mac. And if you're just tuning in, this is VA3CJZ with the Halloween edition of the Wednesday night AREG Net, the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. And my name is Chuck. And if you'd like to check in, please come now. All right, let's get to some Halloween trivia. What do you say? Let me check first, see if we have any info here from anybody. Rick, I got a message for you, Rick. Before you go, I saw you say 73. And there you go. Noel also joined us on the YouTube stream. VE3 Kilo Delta Tango, I do believe. Yeah, Kilo Delta Tango. I'm going to add you in the log right now there, Noel. Thank you for joining us. Hope all is good with you. All right, we're doing good so far with our check-ins, and thank you everyone for joining us and also following along on the YouTube stream. So any more check-ins for tonight's AREG Net before we start the trivia? Please come now. Okay, nothing heard. Let's start with the Halloween trivia. All right. So these are probably all related to Halloween in one way or another. And we've got this first one that says, what was the ancient Celtic fall festival that was a precursor to Halloween? And does anyone know the name of that Celtic fall festival? Okay, I had to double check on the YouTube stream to see if anybody had an answer. Well, the answer is Samhain. Samhain. Sam, S-A-M, and then H-A-I-N. Marking the change of seasons, Samhain occurred on November 1, but kicked off the evening before. On this night, the veil between this world and the next was thought to be especially thin. All right, how many bones are in the average human skeleton? How many bones? Anyone? Oh, the answer is close, Wade. 206 is correct. Noel got it right. But it says here the answer is most humans have 206 bones, although the body has 270 at birth that subsequently fuse to become 206. So you're born with 270, and they fuse into 206. Anyone know what the word Halloween means? Halloween, the answer is hallowed evening or holy night. Because Halloween is a Catholic holiday, too, short for All Hallows Eve. Way to go, Wade and CA, you got that right. And so Halloween is the day of the vigil held the evening before All Saints' Day. So tomorrow, on November 1st, is All Saints' Day. Pope Gregory IV added All Saints' Day to the official church calendar in the year 837, expanding the holiday, which was previously celebrated only in Rome, to all churches. Now, where was the first citywide celebration of Halloween? Well, if you were an American, you might know this. The answer is it took place in a town called Anoka, Minnesota, in 1921. That was the first citywide celebration of Halloween in, in the U.S. anyways. What's America's favorite Halloween candy? Anyone? I'll give you a few seconds.
Candy corn.
Smarties, but theirs are different.
All right, this trivia is either this year or last year. But anyways, the answer is Reese's. Reese's comes out on top according to a 2023 poll, with 29% of Americans choosing it as their favorite. Snickers came in second, followed by a three-way tie for third between candy corn, Kit Kats, and M&M. Way to go, Albert. All right. When was Halloween first celebrated in the U.S.? Pick a year. It's not in the 1900s and it's not the 2000s. Pick a year earlier.
19th century.
1893.
Yeah, Albert, a century is 100 years, but you're close. The answer is Americans first celebrated the holiday in the 1840s when Irish immigrants fleeing potato famine brought the tradition with them to the U.S. In what state is it the norm for trick-or-treaters to receive full-size candy bars on Halloween? What state is most notable for giving out full-size candy bars?
Pennsylvania, specifically the area around Hershey, Pennsylvania.
All right. Well, according to this, Oregon. According to candystore.com, Oregon is the most generous state, I guess.
If you're going to go all the way out west, you might as well make it worth your while.
Yep. All right. This would be good for old timers, but way older than me. How did World War II affect trick-or-treating? Well, the answer is sugar was the first commodity to be rationed in the U.S. during the war, starting in 1942, so candy distribution had to be adjusted accordingly. When the ration was lifted in 1947, though, candy production and the popularization of trick-or-treating picked up. All right, here's some spooky stuff here. What was the original purpose of bobbing for apples on Halloween? This is very interesting because the answer is fortune telling. For what was the original purpose of bobbing for apples on Halloween? Fortune telling, specifically predicting whom a woman would marry. Each apple represented a different suitor, and whichever apple the woman ended up biting into was said to represent her future husband. All right, what is the largest Halloween parade in U.S. history? I'll give you the answer right now. It's at a mile long. The Village Halloween Parade in New York City is the largest in the country. It's known for its showcase of giant puppets, exotic costumes, and yada, yada, yada. Who first sang the song Monster Mash? Bobby Prickett first released the song in 1962 on an LP with other monster-themed tunes, and Monster Mash was #1 on the Billboard Top 100 that year from October 20th to 27th. Let's see if Albert knows this one. What's the original name for candy corn?
Chicken feed.
Were you born on a farm?
Oh, it's funny. I talked to she lives in the U.S. and we were talking about this candy corn stuff one time.
Oh my God, that's fantastic, Albert. I didn't know that. Yeah, chicken feed. According to history.com, the Goylitz Candy Company, now Jelly Belly Candy Company, popularized the classic tricolor Halloween treat when it began marketing the kernels under that name in 1898. All right, why do we associate orange and black with Halloween? Anyone know that one? All right, no answer there. The answer is original Halloween decor drew from the natural colors in season in October that were largely orange and yellow, specifically pumpkins, hay bales, and marigolds. And it also drew in black as a dark color to represent an eerie, spooky vibe. Over the years, use of these colors became more commercialized. Which famous magician actually died on Halloween? If some of you were guessing Houdini, yeah, you might find it hard to believe, but the magician Harry Houdini passed away on Halloween Day. And actually, Houdini's wife attempted to communicate with him after his death through seances, which were very popular back then. Houdini had promised his wife, Bess, that if he died first, he would send a message in code, one that only they knew, within 10 years, if communication between the dead and living were possible. On Halloween night in 1936, the 10th anniversary of his death, Bess made her final attempt to reach her deceased husband, and the result was no message from the other side. Can you guess how many calories are in the average trick-or-treat Halloween bag? Prepare yourself. 3,500 to 7,000. How's that for motivation to take it easy on night one and tuck a few treats away for later in the week? Wow. What celebrity was born on Halloween? No? Well, the answer is Ice Ice Baby. Rapper Vanilla Ice came into the world on October 31st, 1967.
I would have said John Candy, Chuck.
That would have been a good guess, too. Yeah. There's a lot of neat stuff on this day as well. People born on this day, people dying later on there. But yeah, really interesting. How many pounds of candy corn are produced every single year? Let's see if Albert knows this one.
I don't know, millions of it. I don't know. America's pretty big.
All right, these are pretty tough, like Wade was saying on YouTube there. Yeah, but 35 million pounds. That's 17 and a half tons. That's quite a bit.
Is candy corn also reusable, like corn on the cob?
They're just basically corn kernels. Albert, tell us about it.
I don't know. They look little triangular things. They're orange and I don't know. Yeah, Google it.
Can you count them the next morning?
When they grow in numbers and multiply, that you really got a problem.
All right. So it's 9:04 p.m. We'll put that one to rest, and we'll move on here. I got some weird laws from around the world, so let's move on to that. Before we do, let's see if there's anyone else out there that has any other comments, questions, or any check-ins for this week's AREG Net. Please come now.
6 minutes to LBI time.
Okay, so I guess we can start. So these are 60 weird laws around the world. Every country is different, and every country's laws are different. Sometimes these laws border on the seriously ridiculous, and other times they point to important cultural values that might be different than your own. So we compiled a list of weird laws around the world you may not believe exist. But when you're traveling, you certainly don't want to wind up behind bars. For example, it's illegal to chew gum in Singapore. Sometimes we all suffer when fools break the rules. After vandals used chewing gum to mess with the rapid transit system, and the Housing and Development Board spent $150,000 a year to clean gum litter, Singapore banned all gum substances in 1992. Anyone importing, selling, or making gum in Singapore can get fined and or jail time, with the exception of nicotine and dental gums. And it ends with, don't get caught blowing bubbles in the streets of Singapore. All right, our next one here is Canadian radio stations must play Canadian artists. The Canadians are a patriotic bunch, so much so that all Canadian radio stations are required by law to play Canadian artists on the airwaves at least 35% of the time, especially during the hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. This means that in an hour of radio during the work week, you'll hear more than 20 minutes of artists like Nickelback, Alanis Morissette, Celine Dion, Michael Bublé, and Justin Bieber, all of whom are proud Canucks.
Don't forget Kim Mitchell.
There are a ton of Canadian artists. My very first concert was April Wine.
And Neil Young, he's actually still Canadian.
Yeah. There's tons of them. Of course, BTO. Oh, yeah, lots. The lead singer for Steppenwolf. He's from the Midwest. I think the lead singer for I think John Fogerty is too. All right. It's illegal to run out of gas on the German Autobahn. Okay. Notorious for having dynamic speed limits that give drivers a chance to travel more than 100 miles per hour, car enthusiasts and speed demons love trips along the German Autobahn. But if you run out of gas, you could face a big fine. Don't even think of walking to a gas station. You'll get another fine for that. Why? Germans believe you have the power to keep your car properly gassed up. So if you run out of gas, it's your own fault. I agree. Walking along the highway is unsafe and is having your vehicle stalled on or on the side of the road. Keep your eyes on your gas gauge and fill her up before you head out on the Autobahn. Next, it's illegal to hike without clothes in Switzerland. After Swiss and German travelers decided to make naked hiking a thing in Switzerland a decade ago, Swiss officials reminded folks that a public indecency law still exists, and you can be fined if caught in the woods in the buff. Just for example, in 2011, a Swiss man was fined more than $100 for his bare bottom walk. Ever seen those movies where they show those big open plazas and tons of pigeons flying around? Well, it's illegal to feed pigeons in Venice, Italy. And you can just imagine why. With thousands of pigeons descending upon St. Mark's Square and Venice, lured by the tourists' readily handing out food in exchange for Instagram-worthy photos. Venice lawmakers officially made it illegal to feed the pesky fowl in 2008. It is said the cleanup from the birds costs each citizen 275 British pounds, I guess. So roughly $400 Canadian per year. So now the tables are turned. If you're caught feeding the pigeon, you could face fines up to 700 pounds or euros. I think this is, yeah, euros. So that's about 850 or to 900 bucks. Wow.
You remember the late 60s, early 70s, the police were encouraged to conduct a pigeon shoot downtown in Hamilton?
Oh, I wasn't here back then, but no, go on, tell me.
We were plagued with pigeons, and it was the same thing, right? People would sit down in Gore Park and throw breadcrumbs to the pigeons, and they were, oh man, what a mess. Anyways, yeah, they would actually organize pigeon shoots down in the region there. Those were the days.
Wow. Is that Richard with a comment there? Okay. All right. Well, if you're a young lady and you want to wear high heels in Greece, you better check to make sure it's legal to do so in certain places, specifically at the Acropolis. It is illegal to wear high heels. When packing for a trip to Greece, make sure you have the right shoes. The country banned high heels at the Acropolis in 2009. So no stilettos at the Parthenon. Not sure why anyone would want to make a trek around the ruins and in dirt in heels, but surely it's tough to walk and will damage the shoes. But the Greeks put this ban in place to protect its ruins from damage caused by sharp shoes, stilettos specifically. So, the ruins are nearly 2,500 years old, so be respectful and wear some soft-soled shoes when you visit.
And high heels actually create more pressure per square inch than a refrigerator.
Well, that's useful information. How'd you find that out?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
Okay. Now for something completely different, but still revolving around clothing. Don't wear your Winnie the Pooh t-shirt in Poland. Anybody ever hear about that? All right. The cuddly little bear, all stuffed with fluff, also, gasp, does not wear pants. Because of this, Poland issued a ban on Winnie the Pooh around playgrounds and schools, finding the character a bit too risque for the likes of impressionable children. Wow.
VE3 LBI.
See, told you.
There's Mr. Pooh, VE3 LBI. Come on in, Larry.
Well, I had to slow down for a minute after Max started talking about his high heel shoes and refrigerators. I was just got a really bad picture.
Well, Larry, the fact that he knew that was, I think, a little bit more unnerving.
But we won't go there. Anyways, I'm here. Listen along. Carry on, Chuck there. There's that, and I was laughing. So, all right. I'll listen along, and thanks.
Okay, Larry, thanks for checking in with us. Much appreciated. Okay, let's see any more interesting weird laws from around the world. Okay. Oh, this one's for you, Mac. We got something for everyone here. Men must wear Speedos on French beaches. Did you know that, Mac?
What about my mankini?
Exactly. Did you think the French just really like their Speedos? Actually, it's French law that men do not wear loose-fitting swim trunks on the beaches, swimming pools, and other public places where a swimsuit is required attire. The law wasn't for safety, but rather that men wouldn't dare walk around town in a Speedo. So if he wears a Speedo in the water, it surely would be cleaner than something he may have been wearing all day long. What? This need to avoid clothing that could be worn throughout the day also extends to t-shirts. You'll need to lose those as fast as your surfer shorts. So, interesting. Okay, it's also illegal to wear a suit of armor in British Parliament. We know. You've been waiting to don your suit of armor for a visit to Parliament during your next trip to London, but still, there's this ancient law dating back to the year 1313 that prohibits it. The Brits could revoke the law, but as armor really isn't as fashionable as it was in the Middle Ages, why should they bother? It's also illegal to ride a cow while drunk in Scotland.
Where do you find a drunk cow?
Good one, Mac. Before you get any crazy ideas and have too much Scottish whiskey, you should know you could get a ticket for a drunk cow riding. Technically, the full 1872 law mandates people not be drunk when in charge of a cow, horse, carriage, or steam engine. In case you were wondering, the same law states you cannot have a loaded firearm on you while drunk. Now, that's a great law.
V3MQ.
Especially if you're on a cow, you're drunk, and you're armed. VE3MQ. Tom, come on in. How are you?
I'm okay. Remember when I lived between God and Money on King Street?
Between where?
God and Money over there at Lottridge and King.
Oh, yeah, that's going back.
Yeah, well, one of the signs that was on the building that was when I was living there is it was against the law to bring your horse into your room. You had to tie him up out
back. Yeah, there's a lot of weird laws that are still on the books, Tom. I read that somewhere in the States, when you're released from prison, they have to give you a horse and a gun. And I forget what state that is.
Wasn't that special? And good evening to everybody else.
Yeah, make sure and tie up your horse before you bring him in. So, how'd you make out on the contest there, Tom?
415.
401.
Yeah, I heard that already. Rick told me about it. It was a good contest. And I couldn't get 40 or 80 to tune up, so I did it all on 10, 15, 20 to search and pounce.
Yeah, same here. Exactly the same. Well, I could tune, but I only got, I think, 2 contacts on 40, and then I just I had better luck on 10 and 15, and then 20 was third place for amount of contacts there. So yeah, it was a great weekend.
I didn't even look at the contest thing, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that's the most I've ever gotten in one contest, and the most time I've spent on one. Now that my radio's working good again.
And it's funny because I unkeyed the one time and heard you making contact with the guy I was trying with.
Yeah, that's right. I heard you a couple of times, and on the same frequency as I was, and Mike, VE3KMQ, over in Burlington. There, he was. I heard him a couple times also.
I never heard any other locals other than you and John.
I know, right? I didn't hear anybody that I recognized.
Yeah, and right now there's a guy, ZL1LU on 10 meters, 2855, still coming through, 10 over S9.
Oh, yeah, right on. Hey, there's Arpad. He's just checked in on YouTube. Hello, Arpad. Welcome to our net. You made it. How are things going with you? VE3, November Whiskey. We also got Jack here, VA3, CDV. Oh, okay. Hello. Jack Place. Okay. That's Cal. Sorry about that. Jack. Okay. Yeah. VA3, CDV. All right. So I got you both in the log there. Anyways, Tom, anything else there for us?
Nope. Just sitting here listening. Just come out to the shop.
All right. Very good then. So for those of you just tuning in, we do have a live stream on YouTube. Just put in my call VA3CJZ, and you can find us live there. Or if you want, look for the title AREG Week 1624. All right, thank you. So VE3 November Whiskey, I got to put you in there in the log, and then Cal. All right, so with that, do we have any other check-ins for this week's Amateur Radio Exchange Group? This is VA3CJZ. All right, we're doing well on YouTube and check-ins. So we'll add you guys. All right. So if there's no check-ins, then we'll keep going with these weird laws here for a little bit. All right, here we go. So we're done with the drunk cow riding. Let's move on to it's illegal to wear camouflage in much of the Caribbean. Leave the camo attire at home when you head to the Caribbean. To wear it is a big no-no in many island nations, including Barbados, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Antigua, Barbuda, and Jamaica. Camouflage is only allowed to be worn by the country's military personnel. Next, we have no selfies with Buddha in Sri Lanka. When you take a selfie with Buddha, you are turning your back on him. Tisk, tisk. This sign of disrespect is punishable by imprisonment in Sri Lanka. It is also considered disrespectful to point your finger at Buddha, and sometimes there are bans on taking photos with the statues. Here's a law we should have. It's illegal to wear a mask in public in Denmark. Not only masks, the Danish government wants to stop anyone from covering their faces in any way in public spaces. I agree with that. This includes masks, helmets, scarves, hats, fake beards, and even burqas. Yeah, if you see a guy in broad daylight in the middle of summer with a hoodie and a face mask on outside, you know he's up to no good. So this controversial ban went into effect in August 2018. Officials claim the ban helps to properly identify people during crowded events. Should anything negative happen and someone need to be identified. There you go. Okay, here's a weird one. Registering as married at a hotel makes it so in North Carolina. You wonder what? Let's say a man and a woman walk into a hotel in North Carolina, request to share a room, and claim they are married. By common law marriage rules in the state, that man and woman would legally be married. As the couple outwardly present themselves as husband and wife to the public, they are deemed a common law marriage that is honored and valid in North Carolina. So, should you find yourself in need of a hotel room for the night, you may want to fess up if you aren't a married couple. It's illegal to fly a kite in Victoria, Australia. In Australia's southeastern tip of Victoria, home to Melbourne, it is illegal to fly a kite in a public space if it bothers another person. In fact, you cannot even play a game in public place if it annoys someone else. Listed as part of Summary Offences Act of 1966, the Aussies probably won't mind if you do decide to fly a kite while you visit. Flying a kite is also illegal in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And they made that law in 1907. Wow. Okay, here's another weird one. No water pistols on New Year's Eve in Cambodia. New Year celebrations in Cambodia get so crazy that the capital city of Siam Reap won't allow for the sale of water pistols leading up to and during its big celebrations. The ban went into place to prevent traffic accidents and public disorder. Apparently, any other time of the year is okay for a water gun fight, but if you go for New Year's, shop owners won't sell you the plastic toy. And here's one for you if you're going to Barcelona, Spain. It's illegal to be shirtless in Barcelona. In an effort to keep the streets of Barcelona free of beachgoers in bikinis and men going shirtless, lawmakers in the Spanish town on the Mediterranean banned anyone from being topless or in a swimsuit in public anywhere but the beach or a pool. Passed in 2011, fines for walking around half naked could cost you 260 euros. So if you got an extra 400 Canadian, there you go. All right, I'm reading RPAD here on YouTube. Only 4 degrees Celsius where he is. He's still at the Minnesota border, waiting for the election. Yeah, what is there, 6 more days or something? Yeah, RPAD, it's 19.6 degrees outside at my house and in 4 where you are. It's coming. All right, it's 9:29, and we still haven't done on this day. So let's see if there are any other check-ins for tonight's AREG Net. This is VA3 CJZ. Anyone, anywhere, please come now. All right, moving on to on this day, 192. This is today's famous birthdays, and we start with Christopher Columbus, born on this day in 1451. He died in 1506. Oh, our pad. Wow, it dropped down to +1 in the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's 9:30 now. Okay, our pad. Yeah, wear that sweater or a jacket. Maybe a hat and glove. All right, next one is John Adams, born on this day in 1735. He was the second U.S. president and vice president and founding father, born in Massachusetts. He was part of the Revolution, the Boston Tea Party. Yeah, and he was a politician, of course. Hey, remember reading a comic book when you were a kid, and on the back you would see a comic strip story about a kid getting sand kicked in his face by a bully, and then Charles Atlas would show up and tell the boy to do weights and do some bodybuilding. And then he would come back when his muscles got bigger and punch out the bully. Well, Charles Atlas was featured on the back of those comics, and he was born on this day in 1893. His real name was Angelo Siciliano. He was an Italian-American bodybuilder born in Italy, and he died in 1972. Charles Atlas was an American bodybuilder, best remembered as the developer of a bodybuilding method and its associated exercise program, which spawned a landmark advertising campaign featuring his name and likeness. It has been described as one of the longest lasting and most memorable ad campaigns of all time. All right, who remembers Get Smart, the TV comedy series? Born on this day, 1931, Dick Gautier, American stage and screen actor. He was the character Jaime on Get Smart. He was the robot. Remember those episodes? He passed away in 2017. Okay, Albert 7-3. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of the evening and week, and stay in touch. We'll talk to you soon, I'm sure. Take care. Thanks again. And RPAD is saying that they're calling for 6 inches of snow for the next couple of days. So, I did read an article saying that first significant snowfall coming to Ontario. So I guess the Northwest is getting it first. All right, next, Grace Slick has a birthday today, born in 1939. That would make her what, 85? She is an American rock vocalist for Jefferson Airplane and Starship. Remember that song, White Rabbit? And Somebody to Love. Those songs are usually played during Vietnam movies. Very popular. She was born in Illinois. Next, Fonzie turned 79 today. Henry Winkler, born in 1945. You know Fonz from Happy Days, born in New York City. All right, going back to musicians now. Chris Slade, born in 1946, is a Welsh drummer for Manfred Mann's Earth Band. God, that's going back. He was also a drummer for AC/DC between 89 and 94. Born in Wales. Next, David Green, born on this day, 1949. He's an Australian rock bassist with Air Supply. Born in Melbourne, Victoria. All right. I'm sure most of you has seen a few minutes at least of the Cash Cab. Well, Ben Bailey is the guy's name, and he was born on this day, 1970. American host of the TV game show Cash Cab. Born in Kentucky, and he has absolutely no Southern accent. Amazing. He went to a good school. All right, next is Tori Bellecci, born also on this day in 1970. He's one of the Mythbusters, born in Monterey, California. He was one of the younger lads there with the other two that he was usually paired up with. And next we have Edge, the wrestler. He's Canadian, by the way. Born on this day in 1973. His real name is Adam Copeland. Canadian professional wrestler born in Orangeville, Ontario. You might remember him from WWE. And it's also Ivanka Trump's 43rd birthday. Born on this day, 1981. She's a businesswoman and daughter of Donald Trump and his first wife, Ivana, born in Manhattan, New York. All right, who died today in history? But first, let's see if there are any check-ins, comments, or questions for tonight's AREG Net. I think we'll just do the who died on this day in history, and then we'll do last round and not be rushed. And so if there are any check-ins, please come now. All right, first person on my list who died today in history is the third Prime Minister of Canada, John Abbott. He dies of brain cancer at the age of 72. Next, we have the sixth Prime Minister of Canada dying on this day. In 1915, Charles Tupper. Now, Charles Tupper was a conservative, but he only served 69 days. In 1896, dies of heart failure at the age of 94. And he is the only medical doctor to have ever held the office of Prime Minister of Canada. And his 68-day tenure as Prime Minister is the shortest in Canadian history. Next, dying on this day in 1930 is Sakichi Toyoda with a D. He's a Japanese inventor and industrialist. He formed Toyota Industries. Dies at the age of 63. Well, we all know about the Hertz because of Gustav Hertz. He died in 1975 on this day and was a German physicist. Won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1925 for discovery of the laws governing the impact of an electron upon an atom. Dies at the age of 88. Steve Allen, born in 1921, died on this day in the year 2000. He was an American comedian, composer, actor, and TV host of The Tonight Show and The Steve Allen Show. He dies of injuries from a car accident at the age of 78. Allen was an American television and radio personality, comedian, musician, composer, writer, and actor. In 1954, he achieved national fame as the co-creator and first host of The Tonight Show, which was the first late-night television talk show. All right, dying in the year 2010, Edouard Carpentier, another wrestler, Canadian, French-Canadian. He was from France, but moved here, and I remember watching him when TV was only black and white. He was in the NWA from 1956 to 57, was the WWA heavyweight champion, and he died of a heart attack at the age of 84. All right, who remembers the Italian chef, I think an owner in Happy Days of the restaurant there, Albert Molinaro, also known as Al. He died in 2015. He was also in The Odd Couple and also Happy Days. It says here he dies from illness at the age of 96 back in 2015. Whitey Bulger was killed in 2018 on this day. An American organized crime boss killed at 89 shortly after arriving at United States Penitentiary Hazleton in Brewston Mills, West Virginia. And finally, I heard on the news today that the Toronto Zoo has lost their beloved Charles the gorilla. Charles the gorilla was a wild-born western lowland gorilla from Gabon, West Africa, who was notable for being the silverback of the Toronto Zoo's gorilla troop from September 74 to October 2024. He passed away yesterday, but I heard the announcement today. I thought I'd give a special mention for Charles, the silverback gorilla. And so that's it for on this day. We're going to swing right over to last call, I guess, and we can take our time. It's 9:42 p.m. But first, are there any last-minute check-ins for this week's AREG Net? The Halloween edition of the AREG Net, please come now. All right, let's go to the top of the list and bring in Rick, VA3AXJ. Rick, did we keep you occupied for a couple of hours there?
Yeah, certainly did. Every Wednesday night you do. Good night there, Chuck. Not much more to say. I'm just going to have to shut my eyes and get some sleep. And pretty rough days. Yeah, 7-3 is all. VA3XJ. We're going to be QRT. I think, yeah, QRT. Good night, all, and thanks for doing it, Chuck.
Okay, Rick, and I hope your brother recovers soon. And, of course, my condolences. All right, next, well, it was KMQ. Mac is next. VA3IMW. Take your time, Mac.
7-3.
Thanks. Next.
Yeah, you can't get off that easy. Anyways, great net as usual. Lots of interesting stuff. Yeah, a lot of the trivia stuff was really tough. Very obscure information, but yeah, thanks for the education. And trust you have a very enjoyable day tomorrow. And I can't wait to see what you're going to be dressed up as. Strangely enough, on my foray home, down the side roads, etc., while I was waiting patiently at the intersection where the motorcycle was laid down, what to my wondering eyes should appear but a gorilla walking around in a driveway. So this is a massive gorilla suit that this guy was wearing, and I would say shoulder to shoulder, as wide as a car, perhaps 7 feet tall, and he was practicing wandering around wearing this massive gorilla suit. It was amusing, to say the least, and certainly nice to have kind of a distraction from the abnormal traffic that plagued my way home. Anyways, that was all fun, and thanks again for doing this one, Chuck. Certainly appreciate your dedication to the hobby and to supporting this heritage. 7-3s.
All right, very good, Mac. Thanks for joining us as always, and for helping out whenever you can. While I'm thinking about this, I have to share this. It has nothing to do with gorillas or today. Actually, it happened a while ago. I think in the summer. My wife and I were pulling into Timmy's on Cannon. And I wasn't looking around. I wasn't driving. My wife was. And so I was distracted for a second. And then my wife starts cursing and saying, "That son of a bitch, just cut me off." And I looked at the license plate, and guess what it said? VE3 GNP. I almost fell out of the car.
Uh-oh. Garnett had a senior's moment. There you go.
Yeah, she goes, "Do you know that?" I go, "Yeah, I know exactly who that is." I'll tell him next time I hear him, but I never did. But it just popped into my head just now, so I thought I'd share that. Anyways, Mac, thanks a bunch for your check-in, and again, all that you do as well to keep this hobby going and keeping it alive. And so with that, let's move on to the next person, and that would be VA3 November Charlie Alpha. Wade, are you by the radio?
VA3 CJZ, VA3 NCA. Yeah, I'm still here, hanging in. A little tired tonight, but I was up early, so this not working is hard stuff. So I'm going to go to bed early. But thank you for doing it as always. Wednesdays are always a fun thing to do, to spend with AREG. So this is no different. Thanks for doing it, Chuck. 7-3. Good night, everybody, and I'll be clear for you. NCA, back to you.
All right, Wade. Thanks for sticking around as long as you did, and hope you enjoyed yourself. What was I going to say? Yeah, it seems like when you don't do anything, you can get tired. But as compared to being active, I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, Wade, yeah, have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you again soon. Don't forget, we move our clocks ahead 1 hour this weekend, so don't forget. And also, be careful for the next couple of days afterwards, as it is a national statistic that there are more car crashes and pedestrian collisions the day or 2 days after the change of time. For some strange reason, people crash more.
Clocks go back, not ahead.
That's right. Fall back, spring ahead. Yeah. Thanks. I screwed that up, but thank you, Larry.
It's okay. You spring ahead. Everybody be early. Now we're already late.
Yeah, get another extra hour of sleep. All right, we lose an hour. There you go. That's how you do it. Losing an hour's sleep this weekend.
You gain an hour. You don't lose it. You gain it.
You get to, you gain it because you get to do 2 o'clock all over again.
Oh, I'm so confused. I think I need to dip into my medication. Oh. Thank you for that correction as well. Where is my mind? Well, I'd like to thank everyone else who checked in on the YouTube stream as well, and that would be Debbie, VA3OYL, Wayne B, VA3FMB, of course, Wade as well, and Jeff, VE3 November Victor Yankee, and who else there? We'll get to them if we, as we go down the list. Also, Arpad, I have to add you to my, I did add you to the list. Okay, very good. Thank you, Arpad. So next, would Albert said good night. And Steve, I think, is probably in bed, but let's check. VA3, November Foxtrot Golf. No Rick BK again tonight. Okay. So Noel, I missed Noel. He checked in on YouTube as well. Thank you, Noel. Much appreciated. Tomash, VE3 Charlie Echo uniform. You still there? All right. Chris, VE3 RWJ. Are you still there? And Larry would be the last check-in. No, Tom, if he's still there. But Larry at VE3 LBI.
Yep. Oh, we're still here. Listen along. Thanks, Chuck.
All right. Thank you for your check-in, Larry. And we'll chat with you on Friday at 8 o'clock on the ZOE repeater. And that's 443075. No tone required, just positive offset for the Friday night Rag Chew. Next is Tom, VE3MQ. All right. So do we have any last minute check-ins before we wrap this up? Any last minute check-ins for this evening's Amateur Radio Exchange Group Halloween edition?
Quick recheck there, Chuck. VA3 IMW.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, despite the Halloween celebration, the Lake Ontario Radio Club Net will proceed as usual on Thursday night. It will be our Simplex Net 446.125 at 7 p.m. I'll be your net controller, trusting I get home on time and I don't get accosted in the driveway. Thanks again, Chuck. Sub-3s.
Okay, very good, Mac. I forgot about the Thursday net to mention that. Thank you for reminding us tomorrow. And if you're late, don't mind jumping in and holding the reins until you arrive. So no worries there. I should be by the radio. So thank you again. So with that, if there are no other check-ins, I'd like to say thank you, one and all, for joining us on this Halloween edition of the Lake Ontario or Amateur Radio Exchange Group, the AREG Net, and making it another successful one. Tonight, along with our YouTube check-ins and radio check-ins, we had 19 check-ins. And so thank you all so much for joining us and following along on YouTube. And so we'll be here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And so happy Halloween, everyone. Be safe tomorrow night. and be nice to one another. This is VA3CJZ saying 7-3. So long.